I'm so excited for today's Perfect Insights. Someone that I respect, someone that I really enjoy talking to and working with and hanging out with and everything in between. Scott Beault runs marketing for one of the largest Planet Fitness groups in the country. And thanks for joining us.
Yeah, great to be here, Mike. Enjoyed the conversation. Appreciate the kind words on the intro.
Yeah, well, certainly well deserved. Scott joined. It's probably been a couple of years now that he's been at the
2 years and change.
2 and change at with Planet Fitness. And I guess I want to start and take it back a little, because I think before becoming this dynamo in marketing, you were you started in the same world we did in PR. So how did that happen in the agency world?
Yeah, it actually happened by accident. I'm grateful for it because I feel like my background in PR, where I had my first 3 years of my professional career start, really gave me such a good foundation to be adaptable, to roll with the punches, and to really be a strong marketer that hopefully I am now. But it happened by accident. You know, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do out of college. I knew that I wanted to be creative in some sense. I knew that I could build relationships. And I knew that I could write a little bit, which, you know, are all recipes to make a good PR professional. So, you know, at the time, I had a resume that was virtually blank, just coming out of college, basically. And, you know, one of the top 10 PR firms in South Florida where I lived, Bittner Goodman, was hiring. They were hiring an account executive entry-level position. And applied, got an interview, thought I did okay. One of their requirements during the interview process was to do a writing sample. So they gave us 4 or 5 bullet points and said, put a sample press release together. Now, meanwhile, I had just learned the night before how to write a press release. You know, looked online to see how to do it. Did not have a lot of experience. Didn't expect to go into PR, so I sort of self-educated really quickly. And you know, put together what I thought was a decent press release based on those points. And you know, lo and behold, I got the position, and as I got to know the owner of the company more as an employee and team member, you know, I'd come to find out that the position was you know, highly contested, and there was a lot of really great candidates with great experience that were looking to get it. And so I asked him, I said, you know, how did I get the job? What was the criteria you put in place that, you know, made you feel confident that I could do a good job in that, having no experience? And he said 2 things. One, you had the best writing sample, which of course I was happy to hear. And he said 2, he said, after speaking with you, I felt like I could drop you off in the center of a room with any of our clientele, whether it be pro bono work with nonprofits or our high-end retail clientele, and you could make everyone in the room feel comfortable, and you could speak at their level and, you know, basically forge relationships. And I was, you know, blown away by that, because that was a very high compliment, especially at that time. I think I was 21, 22 maybe. It's a long time ago, and I definitely did not have the maturity. At least I hope I do now. So that was a cool way to kick off the career, and I was with them for 3 years, and I was, you know, promoted to be the youngest account supervisor at that time in the history of the company, and did some good work. Got to do some really cool things, like do the groundbreaking on the Hard Rock Seminole Hotel and Casino in Hollywood, Florida. Work with the NHL All-Star Game, do some really cool things. So it was a good start to the career.
So you spend a few years there, and then you parlay that and shift over into marketing. Is that a better fit for you?
I was feeling like I had more to offer than just PR. I had some ideas on the more creative side, outside of media relations and some of the other things that go into, you know, the daily duties of a PR professional. And so you know, I came upon an opportunity that was presented to me by, at the time, was the second largest, what eventually became known as boutique fitness concept in North America, Lady of America, Ladies Workout Express. And they were looking to start their own PR department. At the time, they had about 700 locations across the country, and they wanted to in-house PR. And so I took that opportunity, and after a short while, the person that was in charge of marketing there left, and, you know, they asked me if I wanted to take over the position and do a dual role. And you know, it's exactly what I did, and that was sort of the kickoff to my more you know, my more current career path of you know, being a marketing professional. And at the time we didn't know it yet, but we were basically, along with Kurz, we were developing the boutique fitness industry. I mean, at the time, fitness was still just sort of the big box gym concept, whereas ours were 30-minute circuit training concepts, low square footage, low footprint. And, I was with them for a period of time, and was really able to learn on the job, apply the things I knew I could be good at, and start making a name for myself. So that was really the kickoff to all of it.
So that sort of gave you a good foundation. You had the PR, you had the marketing, and then I think probably when people look at it and go, wow, this guy was probably the marketing guy who made Orange Theory into sort of what it is now too. You did marketing with Orange Theory, led it, Pure Barre, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
How does that sort of, that setup go into you becoming, look, in the fitness world, I would say those are really coveted positions that in a few years you sort of lined yourself up to be in position to run those marketing departments.
I've always been an active guy. I've always been into fitness, and I always felt like, when you can merge your passion with your professional career, you never feel like you're going to work, as the old saying says. So at the time, I had heard of this sort of, little engine that could start up called Orange Theory Fitness, which just happened to be headquartered, I don't know, 5 minutes away from where I lived. So I cold emailed the CEO and basically said, hey, I'd love the opportunity. If you guys want to grow this thing, bring me on, let's do this. And, I think a little less than 2 months later, I was on board as the head of marketing for Orange Theory, which at the time, less than 50 units, had a great concept, but no brand development really, and no robust marketing strategy. So, the work that we did there, we had great agency partners, great collaborative team. But we really did a great job, I think, of developing the brand and making it into what everyone is now familiar with, not only nationally, but internationally. And when I left to pursue the opportunity with Pure Barre, we had gone from those 50 units or less to 800 plus. Wow. And had done just some great work there, launched the first national campaign, did some amazing things, in Times Square in New York, and live workouts on the Today Show and CBS This Morning and Good Morning America, and really did some cool, innovative, exciting things to put the brand on the map, establish it with its audiences, and bring the concept and brand to larger groups of people that had ever been brought to before. So, definitely very proud of that time on my career path and what we did there. And, it certainly more so than anything put my name on the map and helped me to open doors for myself and, and other opportunities. And then I was with Pure Barre and Retro Fitness for a shorter period of time, and ultimately landed where I'm at now with Sunshine Fitness, which, as you mentioned, is one of the top 3 or 4 largest franchisees of Planet Fitness clubs in North America.
You came on, I think you brought a really fresh perspective to your group. And not only did you start to get noticed in the regions you were working in, but Planet Fitness nationally now looks to you when they think about marketing and when they think about plans and what they're going to do and how they're going to do it. How do you take that position and really, show that leadership where at the larger levels, they're looking at, hey, this guy in the Southeast, he's doing it right. Like, we need to talk to him and get input from him on how to do this thing right.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the numbers. So, corporate, Planet Fitness corporate started seeing the numbers, seeing our group stand out amongst the other ownership groups and other franchisees across the country. And the numbers were glaring enough that, we started getting phone calls. Well, hey, how are you guys doing this? And what are you doing here to drive this? And what levers are you pulling to make this happen? And I would also make some suggestions on things that I wanted to do that weren't currently part of the ecosystem within the Planet Fitness world that I wanted to test and learn and try. And fortunately, I had a pretty strong track record where just about everything that I suggested moved the needle significantly in a positive direction. It's been great. It really has. I truly enjoy working with Planet Fitness corporate, with our group. It's an ideal fit for me, and it has been really really a positive experience. And I think that the results show that. I mean, the results for our group have been phenomenal. Even in spite of COVID, we're still performing at a high rate compared to other ownership groups, even though we're not performing at pre-COVID numbers. We're still doing, slightly better than a lot of our fellow Planet Fitness franchisees.
You mentioned COVID. How have you, what's the challenge been like handling that and handling marketing while still trying to be sympathetic to everything that's going on in the world?
It's a great question. I mean, it's what I always say as a marketer, and when I used to do more public speaking, I used to always ask this question. I used to ask the audience, how many people in this room think that your opinion matters? And they would raise their hand. Then I would turn the question upon myself and say, how many people think my opinion matters? And people would raise their hand. And the real answer is that none of our opinions matter at marketers. It's what's in the data, and that's the truth. The data is what matters and nothing else. And I say that as an intro because this is all uncharted territory. COVID is new territory for everyone, for marketers, for PR professionals, for everybody. There's no data that you can call on to say, this is the path to go. Or at least there really hasn't been established. We're starting to get a little bit of data in that can tell us. But, that data just hasn't been there. So you have to go on instincts. This is what I believe, I think is the best thing to do. You have to stay flexible, spend your money. I mean, you can't shut off advertising. You can't shut off marketing because that's a death sentence for your business. So it's putting yourself and putting your spends in channels that are flexible, that allow you to get real-time data, that allow you to throttle up or throttle down your budget based on what's happening in the world, based on what's happening in your state or in your DMAs, and really spend dollars most effectively to maintain the business, to get a strong ROI, as strong as ROI as possible, and just make intelligent, common sense business decisions that not only allow the company and business to tread water now and hopefully, get above the water line, but also, continue to lay a solid foundation for once this whole thing is over. And this whole thing will be over. We don't know when it's going to be over, but you can't just focus on the here and now. You also have to make sure you're setting yourself up for success beyond the immediate future. And there will be success, beyond the immediate future. For us, in Planet Fitness, we're excited as well. I mean, we see lots of white space that's going to develop once this thing subsides that we can move into and increase our market share, increase our audience, and increase our member base and continue to serve our communities, the way that we know how to do.
I'll also say that, when I talk to my team and the team that works with you on Planet Fitness, and one of the things that I hear more than a few times is we love working with Scott. Scott is tough. He brings the best out of us, but he is the first one to come to us when something works out with praise, the first one to come to us to say, hey, great job. The first one, and if things don't work out, then we're accountable, but very, very accountable on both ends and good to work with. So it's been refreshing, certainly, to have you come in and take over marketing and, all the exciting things that our team has gotten to do. How has it been for you to work with this team?
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoy it. What I've always said about the Uproar team is it's a top-down thing. I think that you guys love what you do. You're enthusiastic about it. You're passionate about it. You're dedicated. And I think that carries down to the team that I work with directly on a day-to-day basis. I mean, they come to the table with ideas all the time. They're open to critiques on those ideas, so that's collaborative. They're tenacious in that, I say, like, here are the goals that we need to accomplish, and they work hard to make sure those goals get accomplished. And I think that what I look for in agency partners and for continuing relationships is, I never want to hear the words "I can't." And believe it or not, some agencies will say that, like, "We can't do that," or "I don't know if that's going to work." And I think what the Uproar team has always done really well is, let's make it happen. Let's figure out a way to make that happen. And that's always been appreciated on my end. And it's led to some good successes. You mentioned the fact that, our group, performs at a high level, amongst the entire Planet Fitness ecosystem. I would tell you that we get feedback frequently from the Planet Fitness corporate PR team that Uproar outperforms other PR agencies that work with local franchisees in terms of earned media coverage and different things that we work on together as far as influencers go. So it's interesting to see that that it's not just one-sided with our relationship. That we're both driving results at a greater frequency than perhaps what is the customary level in the Planet Fitness world.
Well, it's great to hear, and I will also add as we wrap it up that in under 2 years, because I think this happened a while back, that you were named Marketer of the Year for the
Right.
Planet Fitness groups. So, look, I mean, you come in and in a little over a year of taking over, you're the best thing they got in the group. So, congratulations for that, and I would say, continued success on everything, not just the Planet Fitness piece, but also, I mean, I will say, just so people know, like, great dad, great husband, great friend, and great marketer. So you got the whole package.
Well, thanks, Mike, and I think that's a perfect place to end. You can't end on a higher note than that. But yeah, it was. I appreciate those kind words, and I'll. It's really cool to hear that observationally from someone that I respect as well and think highly of as well. Just always trying to do my best in whatever I do is the way that I approach things.
Awesome. Well, you're doing a good job at it. Thanks so much. I think it's really interesting, all the pieces and the facets to your career and what you're doing at Planet Fitness. So thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate the time.